Hello, you dick ointment. Jim Sterling here, and this is Yakuza 0. This is a game that I don't think the Western release is out yet. I think that's 4 more days. 4 more days and it's out. I've been playing it for a long-ass time, actually. Seika they gave a lot of lead time on this. I guess, I don't know if that's pure confidence, or it is a long-ass game. There's a ton of content. I've got my review up and everything, but there's still so much more to be done in the game. It's ridiculous how much this has going on. I've got a load of footage that I've not used in its entirety. I've mostly stuck to combat, and I've got like one side quest included in this footage. Mostly because a lot of the game's best moments are like this. A lot of quiet dialogue reading, which doesn't make the most exciting initial impressions video. I might have to do something with it, because I've got almost the whole side quest of a dominatrix who needs to learn to berate her customers better. And so Kiryu, one of the protagonists here, whose name I'm sure I just fucked up pronouncing, takes the dominatrix to a public park to practice heel roleplay being a masochist, and she berates him. In a public park with children playing who gather around and watch. The game's idea of what is and isn't appropriate is unusual, to say the least, a little off-kilter. Anyway, as I say, I'm mostly showing off combat here. This is one or two protagonists, Kiryu, in 1988 Japan, using one of the combat styles, battle styles, I think is the proper term, the Beast battle style. Each character gets 3 battle styles each, and I believe a 4th, but I haven't progressed in the real estate and the cabaret club sub-games that each protagonist gets to like unlock that bit. But they got 3 basic combat styles. One's a sort of fairly normal brawling style. The one that you just saw there was Beast, which is a lot of heavy attacks, and Kiryu automatically picks up any weapons that are nearby while attacking, so you don't have to stop to pick something up, which can be very useful. Can open him up for attack, but when you hit with it, it's devastating. Very good against crowds and whatnot. He also has the dash style, which is, fast, dodging, that sort of thing. This is a side quest. The bit that I didn't show, well, because I think I did it way before I finally got to this part of the mission. It's a foreign woman whose Japanese isn't very good, and she said she needed pizza, and he thinks she said she needed pizza to get a job. She actually means visa. That's the hilarious goof. Also, he's just gotten used to the idea of delivery pizza, which was a big thing in the 80s, and, had just come to Japan, apparently. So I've got to get this pizza back to the woman before it cools down. And apparently it'll do that in less than 2 minutes. This is just an example of the balmy shit that the game gets up to. In fact, this is fairly low level, the pizza. You've got to walk it to her, and you can't run particularly fast, presumably because you'll drop it. Can't bump into people because that happens, stumbles, and you lose time, precious seconds on the clock. Just me checking the map to make sure where I'm going, because mission markers and things, this game's not particularly fond of them. It likes you to remember things, I guess. But I really like the music for this bit, and one of the things about this game is it's got a fantastic soundtrack, but some of the best music gets used in really, I guess, underutilized is the best term for it. Like, this music is so, I don't know what it is, but I really like it, and it's so rare you hear it, and it's used for something like this. Such a dramatic, tense tune for a pizza delivery. Same with Majima's got a thing where he sends characters out to procure weapons and crafting materials for him. And the music they use for the menu is really, really good, but it's just used for the menu and the results of the search. So, I know, great music, but some of it's used really oddly. Like Deadly Premonition, though, there's some really great goofy tunes that are used a fair few times, and you get familiar with them, and they really help set the mood for the scenes. This game's so good. This game is so good, and I realise, as I realised with the review that I wrote yesterday, a lot of what I'm saying about it is going to be old hat to people who are familiar with the series. It's an old, venerable series by now. I think, what is it, like Yakuza 6 is we're up to? At least 5, plus some zombie spin-off. Tons of them, but I never played them myself. I'm obviously talking over all this pre-recorded footage. If you want to follow the text, slow it down, pause it, whatever. Obviously spoilers, etc. But anyway, yeah, never played it myself. I knew of it, but Dale North was the guy who would review them at Destructoid when I worked there. And back then I was so busy with work and stuff, way busier than I am these days even. The amount of things I was juggling. So it was at the point where if I wasn't playing a game to be productive, if it wasn't for work, I didn't get round to playing it. And that was basically me in the Yakuza series forever, until obviously the Jimquisition becomes its independent thing. Sega sends me a review copy for this, I give it a try. Not even very enthused with it at first. It looks, graphically it's pretty basic. It does run at 60 frames on console, which is nice. You won't see that here because I'm using the PS4 share. Hence the stupid Sega logo in the corner. I hate when companies do that. Mostly Japanese publishers for some reason. Square Enix does it as well, and Koei, I think. Certainly Dragon Quest Heroes, which was both of them, had Square Enix's copyright information in the corner. So fucking protective of this. Overly protective. Anyway, point is, wasn't that impressed. It looked very restrictive. A lot of the streets were blocked off through the introductory sequences. And so I was like, what is this? It's like this shitty adventure game that isn't really grabbing me. But then once the storyline, like the main story, picked up and I got into my first real climactic fight through a building, flinging ashtrays at people and dodging pool cues, whatever it was that was going on in that fight. I'm not doing too well in this particular battle right now. That's me switching battle styles, as you see, from Beast to Brawler, which was better in this situation anyway. It was alright while there were weapons around. But anyway, finally tried it. Took me a while, but once it started clicking, once I had that climactic battle, it had my attention. And once I started seeing some of the weird side quests, it had my adoration. Like this as well, like this is one of the more normal, quote-unquote, side quests that involves you delivering pizza to a foreign girl who's been pressured into doing work she doesn't want by a man who confesses that he's in love with her. After trying to basically kill Kiryu here, we get this heartfelt, emotionally raw moment. He was making her do sex work, by the way, but now they're just an item. Little threats between them two, followed by him just prostrating himself. But we got a security wallet, which is some equipment you can, equip. And now they're all going to eat a pizza together. That's wonderful. So, the man who tried to kill you and the woman who was forced into sex work are sharing a pizza together. And then he scarfs it down like no human would eat food. More like some sort of xenomorph would eat. I'd imagine a xenomorph would eat. And then just a wonderful ending to that little sequence. Here's a later clip. You get these moments occurring regularly in the game. An NPC will be harassed by 3 enemies, and you can choose to intervene, which I always do, because they always have good rewards. Well, always. Sometimes it's a, decent healing item, but more often than not, you'll get, plates, like gold plates or ruby plates, which you can take to the pawn shop for plenty o' yen. Yen being a highly precious resource here, because you don't just buy items with it, you buy all your ability upgrades and everything. The orange! If you buy oranges and have them in your inventory, you can get an option to slam the orange, do what you just saw there. It's where the combat, it's one of the weightiest combat systems I've felt in a long ass time. Something about just the sound design and the way everything looks is just some of the most brutal stuff. Like that. He shouldn't be able to survive that, although all the fights are non-lethal. They're all alive at the end, but he's curb stomping. This is Majima. Both of them, Majima and Kiryu, both of them, curb stomping, smashing heads into concrete. Majima's got a move where he'll jam the handle of that baseball bat into someone's throat and then kick it upwards. Yeah, that would crush the windpipe. They'd try and breathe in once, and their esophagus would close up and they'd choke to death. That'd kill him. Or at least cause brain damage. But anyway, I didn't have any good Majima footage. I apologise for that. I just had a couple of fights, and that's the video over.